more people made Galaxy mods!
Oh yeah? Well, you know what I wish? I wish more people made Pikmin mods. Super Mario Galaxy ROM hacks are starting to rise in popularity, which should please a lot of the Mario fanbase considering Galaxy is the best Mario game ever made. Or at least so they tell me. Well, technically it's Mario Galaxy 2 ROM hacks that are on the rise because that's the game that they're actually hacking, but they're basically the same, so everyone knows what I mean. I'm always down to play some sweet fan games, even if they're based on games that I am not the absolute biggest fan of. And when I heard about Super Mario Galaxy 63, I actually got really excited because I pictured a Mario Galaxy ROM hack that takes place in the world of Super Mario 64, and I thought, oh, that sounds mad tight, yo. Mr. White. But after I learned how to read, I made the shocking realization that 63 is actually a completely different number than 64. So, no, this is not a Super Mario 64 conversion. This is in fact inspired, as far as I know, by Super Mario 63, which was kind of a Super Mario 64 fan game to begin with. If you somehow never heard of Mario 63, basically it's a very big, very impressive Mario Flash game that's been around for 300 years and provided many kids with hours of entertainment when they weren't allowed to play on actual video game consoles during the school days. It was the bane of every single public school teacher who ran the computer labs, and for that alone, it was a legendary piece of fan game history. I played this a number of times and actually got pretty far, but I kinda hung it up once I figured out how to use emulators. Actually, come to think of it, I've gotten a number of requests to review this game in the past, so maybe I'll do a full video on it one day, but not today. Now, the funny thing about Mario 63 is that it's a 2D game, so for a ROM hack of a 3D game to take cues from it, it basically has to bring those levels into 3D, and the result is a bunch of levels that, for all intents and purposes, are pretty much brand new. So this is more or less an entirely new adventure. Exciting. In its current state, this is not a full game, it's more of a big fat demo with 30 stars spread across 7-ish levels or something like that. It's a quarter of the way finished basically, but that translated into 3-ish hours of gameplay, so it's definitely worth giving a spin. You know you want to. The levels are not all made equally, some of them are sort of mini levels, but there is a pretty great variety. Even though I haven't played Mario 63 in a while, I'm pretty sure most of these levels are intended to be based on the levels from that game. So if you have played it before, you might have some idea of what to expect as long as you can imagine it in 3D. I think in my case, I want to see a ROM hack that lets you play Super Mario Overrun. You know, that game where you play as Luigi and shoot Goombas with actual guns. A Mario FPS would be the perfect power move for the September Nintendo Direct, if that's even a thing that's happening. Do it, Nintendo. The world is watching. A really cool thing about this game is the variety of 3D and 2D sections. The 2D sections often feel less like a little side thing that happens sometimes, and instead constitute a major part of the game. At least one of the levels is entirely 2D, but otherwise there are several 2D platforming sections that kinda play out like a bonus stage. They even brought in the remixed music from Mario 63. Another thing I've come to appreciate about this game is the dialogue. Unless we're talking about spin-offs and whatnot, the Mario games are not known for their Shakespearean tier dialogue, so it's always nice to see the ROM hacks go that extra mile with award-winning writing like swag-piled gamer moment. Yeah, that really speaks to me. Saints Row, take notes. This is how you write Gen Z dialogue. There is a slight degree of openness in this hack that isn't there in the original Galaxies, where you can pick one mission, but there's often nothing stopping you from deviating from the path and pursuing a different challenge. It's not a true Super Mario 64 type sandbox with super wide open non-linear levels, but that additional degree of agency and forks in the road makes it a little more interesting to me. The game makes very frequent use of Yoshi, which is always a welcome thing, but it also gets a lot of mileage out of the other power-ups, like the Cloud Flower and the Boo power-up, which is a lot of fun, and then you got all these fun platforming sections with the Ice Flower. Stability-wise, the game feels very polished and functional, and it serves more credence to the idea that ROM hacks have evolved past the age of being broken and dysfunctional by nature. All of my issues with this game are just the same issues that I have with the base Super Mario Galaxy, so it would be wrong to blame the hack for this. I've already complained about Galaxy's sluggish movement and stiffer mechanics before, so I'm not gonna beat that long dead horse for much longer, and at the end of the day, this hack works excellently well on its own terms, so it doesn't really matter in the end. But I would be remiss if I didn't show you this thing that happened to me in the mansion level. Levels-wise, there is a great variety on display. You got Grass World, Winter Wonderlands, Volcano Place, Two-Dimensional Spaceland, Spooky Mansion Area, Grass World Part 2, except on top of a mountain, and my favorite level, Grass World 3. And my actual favorite level, Yoshi's E3 Galaxy, which I think is based on this level that only exists in this beta trailer from E3 2009. Yeah, you guys remember E3? Me neither. Anybody who has watched me for a while knows that I'm a big fan of pre-release stuff, so it's always a cool thing to see beta levels recreated in ROM hacks. Speaking of beta E3 stuff, I actually heard that Mario Sunshine was originally supposed to run at 60 FPS, but they got too close to the deadline to fully optimize it. Yeah, I didn't even know that until fairly recently. Maybe they could have made the stupid pachinko machine work better as well, but that's all in the past now. But I still like it more than Galaxy. In terms of difficulty, Mario Galaxy 63 keeps it largely reasonable, save for a small handful of difficulty spikes, but of course Mario Galaxy's idea of a difficulty spike is a completely different universe apart from something like a Mario Sunshine difficulty spike. The 2D sections are probably the most difficult part of the game, being far more precarious than their 3D counterparts, which is pretty par for the course when it comes to 2D platformers. Like I've always said, the easiest 2D Mario is probably harder than the hardest 3D Mario, and I still stand by that. I mean, I probably had more trouble on this stupid tank level than I ever did fighting the fire giant from Elden Ring, but that's a discussion for some video essay down the road. Long story short, the game is entirely reasonable if you just remember to use your wall jumps. By adapting something like Super Mario 63, which was a fan game already, the game is forced to take a lot of creative license to fill out an entire third dimension worth of content, using the 2D levels as the blueprint for these big 3D levels, and I think the game did a pretty good job. I would love to see what the game looks like when it's finished, and I should probably finish the actual Mario 63 in the meantime just to refresh my memory. I would definitely recommend this game, especially if you're a fan of either Galaxy or Mario 63. Galaxy 63 is pretty dang fun, and it's definitely better than The Witcher 1.